Alright, hello everyone. This is a short video to teach you how to use our shelter pet profile text overlays. If you have any questions that are not addressed here, feel free to send me an email or an Etsy conversation. But using these overlays is fairly simple. You just need some basic Photoshop skills, and if you're on Photoshop Elements, the same skills apply. So first, let's get started with when you download your little zip file, after you've purchased it, you will get three little items here. Your actual PSD, which is the one I have open, and your thank you license PDF, which just has a little thank you note from us, a few very basic instructions on how to work with your file, our email, and our contract. So this is all the legal stuff that unfortunately we need to do as creatives. So if you can have a look at that, that would be great. Alright. And then I think one of the most important things that you have to keep in mind is this little text file. This file includes all the fonts that you're going to need to work on this PSD. And unless you have them already installed in your computer, when you try to open the file, you'll likely get a little error sign saying that fonts are missing and you need to download them. So these fonts are all free for you to download, and all you have to do is click on the link here, download and install onto your computer. I would suggest doing that before you open this PSD file. So let's get familiarized with this file here. For your information, I am working on the latest version of Photoshop, Creative Cloud 2014. Okay, so this is your file here. You notice all these pretty layers over here? Just take a moment and click on and off the eyeball icon on each layer, just to familiarize yourself with what is what. I took the time to name them for you so they're easy to find. So I am, you'll notice, is right here, and that part is right here. See? Okay, and these little things are actually your Photoshop shapes. So the ball play shape, look for that, it's right here. You click that on and off, and so on and so forth. Now at the very bottom, you will find that the image is at the very bottom of the layer hierarchy, and it's important it stays that way so that nothing is hidden, no text is hidden under your image. This layer right here, where it says pet portrait here, is where you are going to put your image. And these layers up here are completely customizable. So here you have the shelter website, which is where you're going to send people to adopt this dog or cat or guinea pig or rat or whatever. This Adopt Me is where you will be able to name that shelter. And this Photography By is where you will ideally put your photo credit. If you have a logo, this is where you put your logo and your website. And don't forget, if you are a Heartspeak member, please make sure that this Heartspeak logo layer stays on and you link to the Heartspeak website as well as your own. If you're not though, you will see that you can just click off all of those things. If you're not a Heartspeak member, you don't need to use this. And if you're not a professional pet photographer and don't have a website to link to, and you are not interested in getting credit for your work, then you don't need to have any of this on. You can just turn it off. So the basic element of this file is for it to be versatile, for you to be able to use it however you find easiest. There are a ton of ways to do one thing in Photoshop, so I'm just going to show you the way that I do it. So with that said, let me tell you a little bit about image composition. So if you have a look at my actual image here, let me take all of these layers off just so we can see this. What you'll notice is that I have a lot of negative space here. Why is that? Because you're going to need all that negative space for all your text, all the information that you want to share about this animal for whoever wants to adopt it. And I tend to shoot at a very shallow depth of field, which means a very small number in f-stop. If you don't know what that means and you're shooting with your camera on auto mode, you might want to Google that answer in another video, otherwise this will take me a few hours. But shallow depth of field is a good way to go, especially for negative space, especially for when you're using text, because you'll see that the only thing that's in focus right here are the dog's eyes, but you can still clearly see his coat patterns and his face. He has an engaging expression. It's all about that smiling face. And then the rest is nice and blurry for you to be able to have some text that is clearly legible. You can also help your image if you're not able to scale down to a small shallow depth of field by using your blur tool. And that you can find a ton of tutorials on YouTube or Kelby Training or lynda.com. So that being said, this image here can serve as a guide for composition for using this overlay set. You can study how I did this and then apply the same composition, the same technique to your own images. It doesn't have to be on this one side. You can, of course, change it because these layers you can move wherever you need them to be. But if you just want to get to work and just be able to replace the image and the information, it's all designed here for you. It looks pretty. It's all ready to go. Then I would just suggest shooting an image with similar composition, even if you have to flip it over. So, let me see what else I can tell you here. So, once we have our image, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about being able to change the information that you have for each animal. So these items here are from my experience as a volunteer for the Behavior and Training Department at my local shelter, are the kinds of things that adopters want to know about the animals they're adopting. Obviously, you want their name big and prominent there. I think highlighting the things that this dog in particular, or whatever dog or cat you're featuring, some of their favorite things, their favorite characteristics, their favorite things to do is a huge, huge benefit to whoever's adopting them. If somebody is looking for a dog that likes to play, a nice game of fetch, or if somebody just is looking for a lap cat, a mellow dog, these are all, this space right here, my favorite things is where you can put that in. Now, ideally, you're going to get all this information from the shelter. If you don't have any of this information, it's going to be really hard to invent it. And of course, you don't want to sell characteristics that are not real. This part right here, I would be happy to live with, are these icons right here. So here's the icon for kids or babies, the icon for cats, and the icon for dogs. This just refers to whether the dog or cat featured here can live happily, peacefully with young kids, or if it prefers an adult-only home. If it can live with cats, or if maybe the dog finds cats a little bit too fun to chase. And maybe there are plenty of dogs that don't like other dogs necessarily. So this is really important here. If a family that has two small children is looking for a dog, and they want to make sure that they get the right dog for their family, this is a very important thing to do. Don't underestimate the value of this, and make sure you check with your shelter to see that this is accurate information. If you don't know any of this information, again, I would just suggest clicking the layer off. Okay, let's see. For the age, this part right here, 5 years of experience as a best friend. 5 just refers to the age of the dog. The dog is 5 years old. So this is where you would put the dog's age. And years of experience as a best friend, I just thought was a little bit of a nicer way to state whether, a dog may be 8, 9, 10 years of age, and people call it a senior dog, but what really is a senior dog or a senior cat? It's just experience, that's all. It doesn't make them any less adoptable. So we want to change that, and this years of experience helps sell the animal a little bit better. So this part, I confess I am a couch potato. This is where you would put something funny about the animal. So try to always keep your descriptions about the animal positive, but never hide truths. So I know for a fact that this dog right here wasn't really into, being very active. He loved to cuddle with people. He just wanted to be by your side and sit by your feet and just chill on the couch with you. He wasn't really interested in hiking. A nice game of fetch was fine, but that was about it. He was a very mellow dog, so I confess I am a couch potato. If you say you have a very active kitten, then maybe this would change to, I confess I have a little bit of ADD. Whatever funny item or detail you can add to help sell this animal and match it with the right family. This part here, I know sit and shake, are things that I know for a fact that this dog knows how to do, because the shelter that he's with has worked really hard on teaching these things to him. And if the dog or cat, if they know how to maybe say, if the cat knows how to use a litter box, or is clicker trained, or if the dog is good at agility or something like that. If you know some things like that, make sure you highlight them, because they could make a huge difference in the availability of this dog or pet. Let's see. The weight factor and the breed or breed mix is not huge and prominent, because it's not, something that's terribly important, but for people that are looking for a specific breed or breed mix, we do need to highlight this. And especially if people live in an apartment or a small house, the weight and size is probably a good thing to note. The Adopt Me At, this is where you can state where your featured pet is available for adoption, and make sure you have the website for the shelter too. So that is an overview. Next up, I am going to show you how to import your own image. So I took some time to look for images that were similar to this, to show you how to work and how to change the text. So I found this one, and this, I don't know if you heard that, but if you did, I apologize. It was Willow stretching, and Willow is my dog. Okay, back to work. So this is another environmental portrait, very similar to this one. And what do you think are the similarities here? Again, it's a shallow depth of field. Again, the background is very blurry and nice for some text. Again, the only thing that is really in focus is the dog's face. And this other one is a very different shot. It's a studio shot. I know that for cats and sometimes for shelter photography, some of us are lucky to have a little studio setup. And you know, working with a single color background is really nice for text because it obviously makes it very clear and legible. So I am just going to go here and I'm going to import an image. And this is the way you're going to do it for your photography. So you go to File, Place, Spinning Wheel of Death as my computer wakes up. There we go. And I am going to look for my image. So I'm going to go here. Just go to find your image wherever you may have it. So I know these chihuahuas are here, and it's image 1153. There it is. Alright. There's our image. So we're going to place it. Alright. And again, there's many ways to do one thing in Photoshop, so just do it however you're comfortable. I prefer to place linked images, but you can also click and drag from an open source. Alright, so now that I've sized it the way I want it, I think I'm going to actually make it a little bit larger. There we go. And hit OK. Alright, so if you look here, there's my new placed image, and the previous one is just down below, so I'm just going to click that layer off. So one of the first things that you're going to need to do is change the name of the pet. So this pet is an imaginary adoptable pet because this dog is actually very well loved in a very loving home, and it has been for the last 14 years. But let's just pretend. So this pet's name is Pirate. So I'm going to go to this layer, pet's name, and I'm going to double click on the T. That is going to highlight the text, and I am going to type in his name, Pirate. There we go. So now, a few of my favorite things are, this dog actually really likes people. So people can stay right there. Chihuahuas are lap dogs most of the time. So cuddling can stay. And I know for a fact that this dog actually really likes treats. So I'm going to put treats in there. Okay. This dog would not be okay with very small children in the house. Probably do best with children 12 and older that can understand that he's a little frail. He's 14, so he needs calm environments and a solid routine. And again, this is all information that your shelter should provide. So I am just going to take off the small children. And this is actually a very mellow dog, so cats and other well-matched dogs would be fine because this one actually lives with three other dogs. So, age. This is the age factor. Let me look for the 5. I lost my 5. There it is. Okay, right where it says age, that's your number here. So this dog is actually 14. So whoops, what happened? Do you see there? It had to change size. So all you have to do is hit Command Transform to size it a little bit better. And again, you can edit these layers however you see fit to work best with your design. So I'm going to do that, And I'm going to grab years of experience, best friend, and let's see. These lines right here are what's called an ornamental shape. So I'm going to grab those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to grab all of that and I'm going to move it, nudge it this way to make room for that 14. Okay? So I confess I am a couch potato. Let's see. What would this dog do? Actually, he's a Chihuahua, and he doesn't really like strangers coming up to the door. So a funny way to put that would be maybe I am a burglar alarm, maybe? How do you spell burglar? I'm sorry, guys. Burg alarm. Alright. There we go, so just resize that a little bit. Alright, and under special talents, right here, special talents, let's see, what does this little dog do? I know he can sit, actually, and his mom told me that he knows how to dance. When you hold a treat up high, he'll stand on his back legs and he'll do a little bit of a dance. So I know how to sit and dance. And of course, this little Chihuahua is not going to be 60 pounds of pity to love. So he's probably closer to, I don't know, 10 pounds. Again, make sure you corroborate all this information with your shelter. And I'm going to change this right here to Chihuahua. There we go. Alright, and again, this dog is not really up for adoption, but just so I can show you this, you can change the adopt me at portion right here. And I'm gonna say he comes from, let's see, the Sonoma Humane Society. Alright, and then make sure you update that website to Sonoma Humane. .org. Oops, .org. Alright. See, we're not perfect. And this I'm going to leave the same because that's our logo, that's Photography By, and we are members of Heartspeak, so we want to make sure we give them the shout outs that they deserve. So let's see. So now you take a step back and have a look and see if there's anything that you want to change. Sometimes white is not going to be the best color to use. Overall, you want your text and shapes to be clearly legible and easy for people to read, especially on the web. And a good trick to do that is to squint your eyes while you're looking at the screen. And if you can't accurately read everything, then you know you need a little bit more contrast to work with. So to give you an example, say I wanted to change this color over here. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight the pet's name and you're going to change the color to, let's see, actually I'm going to match it to his bandana. Let's see how that works. Okay. Alright, so that probably isn't going to be the best way to go just because there's not enough contrast, but just to give you an idea of colors that you can use. I like to use colors that are within the image already, and I can show you that in another image. And to change the color of a shape, say for example that we wanted to take these little hearts and turn them red or pink. So I'm going to look for the heart shape 1, and heart shape 2. The cool thing about Photoshop shapes is that you can change the size and color without the shapes actually losing their resolution. Photoshop is a pixel-based program, which means that it's made out of little tiny squares. And sometimes when you make something really big or really small, it starts looking pixelated. And you don't like that. I don't like that. Nobody likes that. So a Photoshop shape is actually one that you can scale at any size and keep that resolution. So to change the color, you just double click on the layer icon, and let's see, let's pick a color, any color. Let's do pink from his scarf here. There we go, you see? Let's do it to the other one over here. Click the layer icon. Let's make this one, I don't know, purple. There you go. So that's a good overview on how to edit these shelter profile text overlays. Let me just show you what the studio one would look like. Especially since it's on white, it's going to give us a chance to change all this text to a different color. So again, I'm going to just click on this layer here, and I am actually going to place that cat image that I showed you before. So I'm going to go to place linked or embedded, whatever you prefer, and that cat is actually from Marin Humane Society that we shot recently. Again, he's just an imaginary adoptable because he has been in a loving home for a very long time, and he's not going anywhere. Alright, so let's see, let's place it. Alright, so see, again, you're going to have to scale it to whatever you find comfortable and likable. And again, I just chose images that had the negative space on the left side just for the purposes of this video, but you can move any of these layers anywhere you want. They're not locked. You can do whatever you want. You can change the design however you want. This is meant to make you happy, but if you, like I said, just want to shoot and go and get more animals seen and adopted, then take my little formula and shoot with this format in mind, and that way you can get it going faster. So this cat's name is Tony, so I'm going to go here, Tony, but I'm actually going to use that lovely red color that is on his collar. Red is a very strong color. The psychology of color is really interesting. Red can inspire many different feelings. So I actually just like to use red or pink or very hot, warm colors like that near the holidays, or if it makes sense, like here, or near Valentine's Day. That's just a little design geek tip for you. Color has psychology, and if you want to learn more about that, just Google it. It's a slippery slope though, so but it can help your design process. So I'm gonna change that color over there to the same red. Okay, let's see, my favorite things are red. Here we go. Alright, for Tony. Tony is a very playful cat. He is around, I think he was 5 years old. He is actually a tiny bit shy with people. So I am actually gonna change that to just keep it to cuddling. And I know for a fact that he loves treats and kitty and toys. Let's just say toys. toys. And I'm going to change that to that red. Okay. Let's just change this happy to live with. I know for a fact that Tony is a very easygoing cat and would be happy to live with kids. Let's change the color to red. Yep. And other cats? Yep, he can live with other cats. He actually currently lives with 3 other cats. And dogs. Depending on the dog, Tony is willing to accept other dogs. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. You can change the color, you can change everything you need here according to your pet's details. Make sure the information is always current and accurate, and when in doubt, just ask the shelter. And if you don't have that information, then like I said, you can just leave that out and there's no problem. You have the freedom to use these overlays however you wish. And I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you need some more help figuring how to use these things, just send me an email or an Etsy conversation, and I'm here to help. Hope you guys have a great day and hope to get more pets adopted. Alright, see you guys later.